In today's segment, my subject is competitive elimination. It is an ecological word. Competition. Through competition, some species are eliminated. So I'll explain what it's all about. Humans are not exempt from the principles of population biology. Humans are known as keystone species because, as top predator, they determine ecosystem structure by their eating and living habits. Man is also known as ecosystem engineer, an animal with significant effect on its ecosystem. Until the keystone species appeared on Earth, the competition for survival was a fair game. Man is the latest invasive species, a newcomer organism on planet Earth, and he invades every nook and cranny, competing with the native life that has evolved millions of years before him. Human settlement is an increasingly common geographic barrier for many species. Before the ascent of man, competition may have contributed to the elimination of several species that were using the same resources, but now competition is exclusively anthropocentric versus all life on Earth. However, now human competition puts a tremendous strain on the planet's resources. According to the World Watch Institute, in 1997, worldwide harvesting of fish peaked at 100 million tons per year. Similarly, world grain production is peaking at around 1.7 billion tons per year. Meanwhile, the total area of deforestation is equal to the size of the continental Australia. This means fewer croplands for growing food and the extinction of entire species of plants and animals. Some biologists estimate by the end of the century, and as many as quarter of all species on the earth by the middle of the 21st century. Historically, there have actually been three waves of human competition, all of them coinciding with their introduction of new technology and science. The first human competition began about 1,000,000 years ago when humans discovered tool making, triggering an increase in world population from a few 100,000 individuals to millions of people. The second human competition, which started about 10,000 years ago, came with the discovery of agriculture and the domestication of animals and plants. This time, the population grew 100-fold to about a million. The third human competition started several hundred years ago with the Industrial Revolution. The question is, can the world continue to preserve biodiversity when the human competition is still galloping ahead at a rapid pace? Fossil record reveals that competition for food and water was the main cause for the mass extinctions happened in the planet's history. When one dominant species has an advantage of survival over another species, they increased their population exponentially until they ran out of their resources. Unable to feed eventually, they all perished. Competitive elimination not only destroyed other organisms but also destroyed the dominant species. Nature is warning us through the ecological perspective of competitive elimination. Man is the dominant species having advantage over other species for their chance of survival. Between human and nature competition, always man is the winner. This victory may be a deception. When we analyze the long-term impacts on our own survival, we may have destroyed our life-supporting systems as we pursued our achievements. In our zeal to build and possess, we may lose what we have. Instead of competition, man can show compassion to creatures. Humans have to find value in all that exists. We have to accept the otherness of all that exists in creation. Every form of being, animate or inanimate, has a value as such. It has its possibilities and limitations within the ecosystem itself. For human intelligence and affectivity, every being is a challenge to decipher the message of life, beauty, and rationality that it possesses in itself. All beings, especially living beings, deserve to be accepted and even respected in their otherness. No one has the right to seize and destroy what the vast process of evolution has spent thousands of years in producing. Everything that exists and lives has the right to exist and live. The fact that every being is formed differently from me always, and it also lays an ethical obligation on me. Only human beings can bless this otherness, live freely with it, or wickedly destroy it. This is what grounds our ethical responsibility. The environment has its rights, and there is such a thing as ecological justice. Everything has the right to continue to exist within the ecological balance. This right produces a corresponding duty in human being to preserve and defend the existence of every being in creation. We call this the dignity of the earth, dignitas terrae, where everything is seen as a whole. God bless. Goodbye.